What's good, man? Dress Kill Nation, man. It's Dress Kill Tay back on another episode of Dress Kill TV. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button, post bell notification, get in the comments, watch a commercial or two, hit the repost button. You know, show me some love, man. YouTube, we are in a safe and controlled environment. I do have on the OJ gloves. Yes, indeed. They fit, but they don't fit. But the firearms are rendered empty. Empty. We're in a safe and controlled environment. Please monetize the video. So today, hopefully you just seen the debut of my Gen 4 LEO Glock 23 trade-in, the discontinued version. The one you're not going to be able to get. Like this specific one is a discontinued because it comes factory with them night sights on it. You know. And this is a Austrian Glock. This ain't no Georgia Glock. Ain't no Georgia stamps on it. They just put Samaritan on there because of the importation point system and laws. So we're pretty much going to talk about if I can start all over, right? And I had to choose between just one of these two right here. Which one would I go with first? Which one would I pick up? Even if I would pick up both of them, which one will I pick up first if I had to start over for my first gun? So we're going to start with the Glock. The first category is it's going to be feel in hand, right? So everybody likes, you know, to talk about how blocky a Glock is. Like, oh, it's a block. It's a 2x4. And they're not lying. Flat out. It's a 2x4. Stock OEM configuration, it is. And these are the reasons why I believe, to me, it's a 2x4. So, at least for Gen 3 and 4, we're going to go with the finger grooves. The infamous finger grooves. Gen 3 and 4. Which I believe on Gen 6, they're actually going to come back, but just in a different way. They're gonna freak it a little more. Who knows? They might do the PSA thing and put one bump, or they might just leave both bumps. You know, this one is kind of like a third one, officially, unofficially, huh? But I believe they're gonna bring the finger grooves back for Gen 6. But for me, honestly, the feel, it's a block. Like, yes, I honestly do like the heftiness of it. I do like the circumference of it, the size of it, the width of it. I can make it work. Like, I can make any gun work for the most part. You know, even if you give me a high point, I can make it work. You know, the one thing I do appreciate about Glock is their size. Even though they aren't the most comfortable in hand at times, the size of it, the heftiness of it, it makes sense to me, at least. It does make sense to have such a hefty, robust gun design, especially on the frame. So the undercut is very minimum. It's really like damn near non-existent. Like, it's damn near non-existent to me. The texturing, I do prefer the Gen 4 and 5 texturing. Now, I heard of the RTF texturing. I believe it was on later 3s and earlier 4s, and they kind of just stopped. I don't know why. It was more spiky or something. But I can't complain about this texture, you know? It's okay. Like, I can make it work. That's the one thing about Glocks. The people who really, you know, swear by them is that regardless of what people preferences are, you should be able to make a Glock work for you. And I highly agree about that. So the feel, it's not bad, but it's not the best. Now the feel on the GX4, YouTube, we are clear, it's better. Now pay attention to how close my fingers are to my palm. They're very close, which means what? I have more leverage I can get a better, tighter grip, especially under rapid fire on my firearm versus, now look how far my fingers are on the Glock. It's pretty much an inch. I'll do it side by side. It's pretty much an inch versus, like, I mean, need I say more? Pay attention to right here. Now pay attention to right here. Look how much space is there. So that comes with gripping your firearm. Now again, the Glock is it's a wider gun. The circumference of it is greater than a G3C, a GX4, even a G3C. Now the G2C, shout out to my homegirl Scrona D. We're gonna be collabing soon. I'm gonna get a couple of reviews on the GX2 versus the GX4. The GX2 more so has a more hump, like a HK. So I believe the circumference on the GX2 might be a little wider than the actual Glock. So round one, feel, it's going to the Taurus. You know, I'm showing you guys, like, the way you're able to actually grip a firearm actually matters. Like, that's a lot of room versus, like, that means I can shoot this more so even better with one hand than I could with this with one hand. Not even that it's in 40. Like, we're just pretty much going off the size of the frame. You know, this is pretty much a 19 just with a 40 barrel. So round one is going to the Taurus. Round two, trigger. Very crisp trigger. One of the best triggers. Besides this, I'm going to give it to Canic. Besides this, seriously. And another good trigger, honestly, right out the box, is the G3C trigger. A lot of people give me slack. A lot of people don't really understand how to use that trigger. They think that take up is like, oh, that's a flaw. That's not good. That is very good, actually, because it takes out a lot of error when it comes to long distance shots or even under stress shots versus my Gen 4, which has a very different type of trigger. First off, it has the serrations on it. You guys can't really see them that good. But it has serrations on it. The Gen 5s, they're smooth. And I believe the actual blade is a little different also. Versus this is a complete flat face. Like, notice the serrations are actually on the trigger blade versus the actual trigger itself. And you're able to feel it. You know, it's like traction. You know, because you see how my finger is able to slide off. You know, I got on gloves at the moment, but when your bare finger touches it, it sticks. So that lets me know, okay, Glock wasn't tripping when they put these serrations on the Gen 3s and 4s. I don't believe Gen 1 and 2 had serrations on the actual triggers. And of course, they did away with the serrations on the triggers when it comes to Gen 5s. So trigger, Glock, Gen 4, 23 specifically, you know, like they say, Glock triggers, they hit or miss. You know, some of them lighter, like a 26. I love the 26 Gen 5 and Gen 3 trigger. They perfect. Very hard, very heavy, very hard, very heavy. I gotta relax. Like, very tactile release, reset, but very hard and mushy. Trigger. Man, round two. Once again, I'm going with the Taurus, man. Sorry, guys. I'm going with the Taurus. Again, the feel of racking that slide, that isn't OEM. the internals. But even with the OEM spring, that slide is more easier to rack on the Taurus. But round 1, feel of the actual gun, it went to the Taurus. Round 2, trigger on the actual gun, they're both OEM triggers, it's going to the Taurus, bro. Sorry, guys. I'm a Glock owner now, so you can't say I'm, being biased or what have you. I'm a Glock owner now. I did it for you guys, honestly. Give you guys a little more content that we can pretty much both relate to. And again, once again, shout out my brother, Mr. DFA, Sleep So BK Fly. It's 40 Smith & Wesson month, bruh. It's 40 month. Y'all go pick y'all up a 40. They already discontinued. Go and get you one, man. Shout out to Eisen. He made me, he convinced me also to get in that 40 line. So for round 3, category 3, so category 1, it was feel of the overall firearm. It went to the Taurus. And I forgot to also leave out the serrations. They don't have front serrations on the Gen 3 and 4s, which isn't bad. The original Gen 5s, they didn't even have front serrations. But it is very slippery. Like it's slippery. So the first 2 rounds, they go into the Taurus. Feel and trigger. The next round, I'm going to say overall finish. So the overall finish of both of these firearms, to me, are almost perfect. As far as the slide coating and the grip texture. The only thing about the Glock, once again, is, of course, the front serrations. The only thing I don't like about the Glock is the proprietary rail. I don't like that. Gen 6, pick rail. Enough said. Pick rail. All lights. All lights. No sorcery has to be done to make a light, fit on here. I find a light, it goes on the GX4. It's no way around it. Like I found a light, it's going on the GX4. Now they have the slots, for pretty much all lights that you can put the Glock slot on, but that's extra time. That's tools. That's sitting down. That's finding the Allen wrench. Blah, blah, blah. I can do more with the Taurus. Just saying. So overall finish, I'm giving it to the Glock as far as the slide, finish, feel, resistance. I'm giving it to the Glock. I know them boys like, he ended up making love. Yeah, I'm giving it to the Glock though, man. The texturing, the Taurus texturing better. Like, like the only thing I can give to the Glock is the actual slide finish and the way it holds up. I gotta give it to him. The slide. But if we're talking about overall texture, serrations, durability for the actual coatings, the rail, the fact that this is a FCU, fire control module, and I can put this FCU into this. Can't do that for a Glock. I'm just saying. You can, swap out a couple things here, there. But yeah, this is what you get, and that's what you get. Now you can't put the actual. You can't buy P80s, frames, and now you got the RXM. Shout out to Ruger for actually, bringing that idea. I believe Zeb was the first one to do that. But who the fuck buys a Zev? Like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody's buying that shit. Yeah. overall finish, I'm going Taurus. Again, I know a lot of people are gonna say, bro, come on, just kill tape, bro. Ain't no way you still. Shout out my brother. He was like, oh, now you got a Glock. You can put them Tauruses up. I looked at bro like, what? You sound crazy. You think I've been carrying this all this time because I couldn't afford to get one of these? Like, come on, bro. Be serious, bro. I done spent more on magazines than a lot of you guys done spent on one gun. Like, let's just be honest. Then you spent on one Glock. Like, be serious with yourself. You know. So overall feel, I'm going with the Taurus, bro. I'm going with the Taurus. I mean, just look at it. Look at her. And I just seen a video of my guy, Let's Talk Tactical. It ran by my phone as I'm recording this. Said that he's going to say goodbye to the Ramjet. Didn't I tell y'all? $160 versus $400. Come on, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Round number 4. Customizing, you know, barrels, recoil springs, magazine releases, triggers, slide releases, takedown system, you know, sights, all that. It's the only one Glock gonna win there. Because everybody makes stuff for it. Because why? OEM, it works. But it's just so much personalization that you would want to do to it, you know, to really make it fit you. Like I say, the undercut, you know what I'm saying? The no serrations, you know what I'm saying? The trigger, you know, these aren't quote unquote OEM sights, the sights. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yes, I have upgraded this gun to the T. Only thing OEM at this point is the trigger, the slide, the frame, the barrel, the recoil spring, the striker assembly, the sights. It's all aftermarket. So to think that you're going to out aftermarket me with a Glock versus a Taurus, whether it's a G2C or a GX line, you're not doing much more than me, bro. Like, you're really not. You're not doing much more than me. Like, you might got a couple little cute colors, you know, if you guys want to be, you know, rainbow boys, that's cool. But honestly, the only reason I'm giving it to Glock, as far as like customization and aftermarket, is the magazines, bro. And I can kind of go and find a slide for a 19 and throw it on here. A 20, a 32, throw it on here. A 25 possibly will work on here. You know, so those type of, you know, characteristics, I got to give it to Glock for that last round. Round number 4. Customization. Personalization. It's going to the Glock. This thing has been around for about 40 years now. It has evolved and still is evolving right before our eyes. You know, Gen 6 on the way. And it's like, you know, it's tried and true. There's all type of customizations, man, from magazines, back straps, replacement slides, magazine release, slide release, takedown pins, barrels, recoil springs. There's a lot you can do to a Glock. But like I say, I can do just as much to this Taurus as I can do to this Glock. But I had to get a Glock, you know, one round, like, which is very well much deserved and earned. You know, Glock, you know, they've been heavy in the game for, like I say, almost 40 years, man. So you just gotta respect it. And like I say, every collection deserve to have a Glock and a Taurus. You guys let me know what your opinions are, man. My grading scale, was it accurate? Was it non-biased to you? Oh yeah, and another thing, for customization, why I gave it to Glock is because holsters, bro. Like, it's hard to find a holster for a GX4. It's hard. Like, this is for this, but with this slide on it. So it works, but it's just the actual barrel. See how that barrel protrudes out? You know, half an inch, quarter inch off, third of 3/8 of an inch or whatever. It locks in, but it doesn't lock in how it would without that barrel. But on the Glock, open end. Everybody knows when it comes to holsters, you should have an open end holster. You know, you might have a ramjet on it. You might have a threaded barrel on it. You might have a ported barrel on it, like this one. And it would just be more generous, you know, to have that on the holster. So that's another thing, man. The holsters. Like, that's why it's pretty much the most customizable firearm, in my opinion. You know, like I say, man, y'all let me know how you guys feel about my grading scale and the categories I came up with. Were they reasonable? That's up to you guys. Get in the comment section and let me know, man. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button, post bell notification. More videos on the way. It's 40 Smith & Wesson month, like I say. Shout out to my big homie DFA. I'm about to get back to the grind, man. It's another day.